Hey boys and girls, Q here. It's a nice day down here. It's overcast but nice and warm. I just washed my motorcycle and particularly the chain. The chain was looking a little grungy, so I used a degreaser on it and then a nice silicone lube, and I don't know if you can see how pretty that chain looks, but boy, it looks pretty now. So, washed it, dried it, and then the final drying, of course, is to run it. Let's blow the dirt off of this thing. Just going leather jacket and a t-shirt today. I know it's going to get too hot for me to really wear protective gear. You know, it just gets so damn hot here. It's always so hard to get your temperature regulated on these bikes. It's, like I always say, between 10 and 15 degrees colder on the motorcycle, and very hard to know what it's going to feel like until you depart. And of course, then if it isn't right, you got to stop and change, and that's all right. I'm just waiting for one of my neighbors to say to me, people think the only thing you care about is riding motorcycles. So I can say back to them, you know, some people may be right about that. Because all I want to do is have some fun. So I got 2,400 miles on the motorcycle, which is pretty good. It needs its next service at 3,600, and I think at least for this next service I'm going to go back to the dealership. I don't think they're going to charge me much for the oil change, but I also am curious what else they might do at a 3,000 mile service. That certainly is a downside of this motorcycle. 3,000 mile service intervals are very, very early, but on the upside, not very expensive, because the bike is so easy to work on. Certainly going to take it to them for a 6,000, because a 6,000 is a valve adjust, and I wouldn't even dream of doing a valve adjust. And this guy, I mean, I know the speed limit's 25, but nobody goes 25, my friend, my little Virginia buddy. So as far as I can tell, you're just being an asshole, right? 25. Asshole. Asshole. No, you'll go 25, but you won't signal? What a dick. People, what are you doing to me? Anyway, let's try to reclaim my zen. This motorcycle is very, very good at returning those zen-like moments, you know. Like everybody else, my mind is constantly chattering away with worries and speculation and regrets and on and on and on. But every now and then I just realize it just stops when I'm riding this thing, and I'm on a country road, and it's just perfect. It's just the way it should be. And that's pretty nice to get that on these little local 1-hour rides. I got that quite a bit when I took my 2012 Harley Street Glide across country back in 2015 in those wide open western spaces. But to get it here on these 2-hour rides is pretty sweet. This bike just delivers that. They say, you know, everything is really between your ears, and whether it's sex or anything else, it certainly is that way with motorcycling. It's between your ears. So if the bike delivers that peace, I don't want to call it zen, but you know, that just bliss of being here and thoroughly enjoying this exact moment. That's what the motorcycle delivers to me. So if your motorcycle delivers that to you, I don't care what it is. You got the right motorcycle. Not to mention a little adrenaline and thrill. So if I turn left right here, that'll take me down some dirt roads, which are actually a lot of fun on this bike. This bike handles a dirt road, a packed dirt road, really well. But since I just cleaned the bike, I'm going to wait for it to I'm not going to take it on any dirt today. I want it thoroughly dry. Now this light is one of the few around here that doesn't seem to respond to a motorcycle's weight. And a lot of the lights do. A lot of the lights are really good around here. Even on a light bike like this, you pull up, you get a green in short order. Long story short, you know, I'll sit here for a few cars and then enough is enough. I'm going. Because we just don't get the green light here. Oh, that feels sweet. Take right up to 70. No issues at all. Could certainly keep going. God, I love this motorcycle. What are you doing? What the fuck was that? So this is the kind of slicing and dicing, weaving through traffic that I will engage in. But I really don't want road rage. I really don't want an accident. You know, I don't want to do stupid things. So, very cautious around intersections. I will pass people on the right if I have a complete right lane. I'm not gonna pass them on the right where it's patently illegal to do so and very stupid. You know, and knock on chrome, I've been very fortunate. I haven't had an accident on the road in a long time. Dumped the bike in the dirt. That Kawasaki X300, I dumped a number of times. I dumped my Honda CB500X. Haven't dumped a road bike or any bike on the road in a long, long time, so I want to keep that string going. Yes, this is what we need, is a trailer tractor. Oh, let me show you how well this thing will pass. Oh, car coming, car coming, car coming, car coming. So that was stupid, but understandable, right? You don't want to be behind the trailer carrying the digger at 30 miles an hour. But still sketchy. Not proud of that one over the double yellow. And you know, there's a reason why all the moto journalists buy this bike for themselves. And frankly, there's a reason I would include myself. Not that I'm a moto journalist, but I'm a guy who has been researching bikes hours a day, every day for 20 years, it seems like. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but not much. And all the reviews and seeing who buys this bike and keeps it, buys it with their own money, and keeps it for themselves. And I get it. It's just this is motorcycling. Now, does that mean that I don't want a Kawasaki Z900? No, it actually I do want a Kawasaki Z900. I wouldn't mind experiencing 3 times this horsepower. I'm ready to get back into a fast bike. But my wife just bought a very pricey car, and I'm really delighted with this, and buying a Z900 would probably be a terrible mistake in terms of, you know, speeding tickets and hospital bills. So, gonna hold off. I think my new rule is one new motorcycle a year. So this is my 2022 bike, and actually my next bike, unless I replace the Kawasaki Vaquero with something like it, you know, a big comfortable 2-up cruiser touring machine, that's probably the bike that'll get sold and replaced, and this will still be my baby. You can't buy a better runabout motorcycle than this. I'm sure. And guys, you know, they update the suspension, front and rear. That's got to be $1,500, $2,000. They put fancier pipes and air filter on it. That's got to be, you know, another $800. So you get a little more power and more expensive suspension. I've got no complaints about this suspension. And I hear people describe it as soft. I think it's quite firm, actually. And again, you know, with no windscreen, I'm not taking corners at 90 miles an hour because I'm not going 90 miles an hour. So I really don't need suspension that'll hold a line in 90 miles an hour. I need suspension that'll hold a line in 65, 70, 75 miles an hour, and this suspension seems up to that. So we'll see. We have had so much wind for like a month, 6 weeks. Almost every day has 10, 15 mile an hour wind. And that does make a difference on a bike this size. It really does. It makes a difference in your car, so you can imagine what it feels like. Here, a little one finger grab on the front brake, little trail braking, which I've getting good at. But a minute ago I smelled spring. You know, I smelled some flowers coming out. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. This motorcycle the engine is just so smooth. Parallel twin, but man, 60 miles an hour, it's just so smooth. And even with earplugs and a full coverage helmet and wind noise, I can still hear the rumble of the engine under all of it. And this is bone stock pipes, stock intake, and it's got a really nice sound. The only reason I would put other pipes on this, I wouldn't want it any louder or to sound any different, but just maybe to reduce weight, to make it a little quicker. But it's quick enough, you know. It's I'm sure I'll get bored enough and I'll have some cash and I'll upgrade this thing. But boy, it's pretty nice the way it is. You do not need to upgrade this thing to enjoy it.